Hey guys, welcome to this video. I want to do a quick video to talk about cable extenders, which, if you believe my wife, is not the most interesting topic in the world, but I think it's quite interesting, and if you're into PC modding, you'll probably agree. So I'm going to do a little bit of work today to replace the cable extenders in my main build, which is the latest build. You can find a video on the build itself on my channel. This is a AMD Ryzen 3800 with a 5700 XT reference card in it, and I put this up a couple of months ago on YouTube and on a few Facebook pages and stuff that I'm a member of, and the feedback that I got was that everyone generally really liked it, but they didn't like these cable extenders, which are obviously white cable extenders from Linkup. And I quite liked them at the time, but I must admit as time goes on I'm not really feeling them, so I'm going to swap them out today for some units from Shakmods. Now when people talk about cable extenders, they're generally going to talk about CableMod. Now CableMod make very good products. I've owned a few in the past, but the problem is that where I am in the world, in the East, it can be very difficult to get CableMod products when you factor in shipping and import duty and things like that, and the additional lead time associated with getting them out here. So for me, I mean, both the Linkup set and the Shakmods set are both available on Amazon in the UK, so really easy for me to get hold of. Now what I will say is the Linkup, there was nothing wrong with the Linkup set. I'm not getting rid of these because I feel they're in any way dangerous. You know, sometimes people think that cable extensions are going to be dangerous if you don't get a good connection, and I suppose that's true to a degree, but I've never had any issues. But I'm just not keen on the aesthetics, and when I get these cables out I'll demonstrate why. So let's just take these GPU cables as an example. Let me just get the Shakmods one out to compare. So here's the Linkup cable and here's the Shakmods cable. I'm not sure this is going to come across very well, but for one, the Shakmods cable insulation is a lot thicker. Yeah. Let me try on the other camera. See if we can get that to focus on there. There we go. So the insulation on the Shakmods cable is a lot thicker, which makes it slightly more difficult to play with, slightly more difficult to feed through your case, but the end result is you don't end up with a very ugly looking mess, even with the use of cable combs once you're finished. With the Shakmods cables, yeah, you still get it a little bit, but if you manipulate them just right, you get a much neater look, and you can manipulate that quite a lot. You can add some additional combs, you can use tie wraps to make that really neat. And the other thing is, because the insulation is thinner on the Linkup cables, you get clear daylight through the middle, which again, for me, some people may like it, you know, it's a very aesthetic and a very personal thing, but you can see daylight through there, whereas with these, there's still a little bit of bleed through, but I think you'll agree they seem to be behaving a little bit better. So it's horses for courses, really. I mean, in lengthwise, you're talking they're pretty much exactly the same length. This case is a little bit of a nightmare, as you're going to see, for feeding cable extenders through. So let's just carry on removing these. Now, if you're not familiar with cable extension kits, the principle is quite simple. So if you have a power supply that has braided cables that you're happy with the aesthetics of, that's great. If you don't, then you have two options for changing the aesthetics of your PC. So these are not bad. They're nicely braided, they've got black conductors, black insulation on the conductors, and the connectors look just fine. But if you want a specific look for your PC, then you can use cable extenders. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is CableMod make replacement looms for certain models of power supply that are modular. So if you have one of those power supplies, that's great. You can use one of CableMod's modular kits. It's a straight swap out for the original wiring loom that comes with your PSU. But if CableMod don't support your PSU, or if your PSU is not modular, then your only option really, if you're not happy with the aesthetics, is to use a kit like this. So that's why people use them. And I've just realised actually, I've got a white SATA lead that I'm going to have to replace as well. Let's get that out. Now this case is a Cooler Master 511, I believe was the model number. I'll put it up on screen if that's not right. And I really like it. It's one of the best cases I've worked in this price range. But the issue I have with it is there's not a lot of room to manoeuvre. So again, these cables that I'm pulling out now, if I can get them out of this ridiculously tiny hole. These again are just extension cables for the front panel connectors. And I've ordered some from Shakmods to replace these. I think these were Linkup. I'll double check. These may have been Linkup or these may have been Shakmods, but I'll double check and I'll put it on the screen. So yeah, this case is not great for working in terms of space, especially if you're using an all-in-one like I am. In fact, getting up to the 8-pin connector up here is going to be nigh on impossible, I think. And in fact, I don't think, even though my cable extension kit comes with a CPU power, you know, the 8-way lead, I don't think I used it with the Linkup set, and I don't think I'm going to use it with the Shakmods set, because actually we have problems with cable management back here is one issue, but also I don't think I'm going to get it through and be able to get 180-degree sort of turnaround on it to get it into the connector. So we're going to leave that as it is, but that doesn't stop me using the rest of the connectors. So let's have a look at, let's get all these old ones out of the way. Oh, that was the other thing that bothered me about the Linkup set. It wasn't really an issue, but they come with, so on a GPU you've got a 6-way connector or an 8-way connector, and with Shakmods you can order a specific 6-way lead. With the Linkup set, which comes as a bundle, you get 2 8-pin leads, and on the other end is a 6 and a 2. So if you need to use all 8, that's great, it just sort of flits onto the side. If you don't need to use it, then you have to cut the cable combs, pull it all the way back, and then hide it somewhere behind in your chassis, which is what I did, which was a little bit of a pain. But if you're going to sell a complete kit like Linkup did, then it's the only way they can reasonably do it. Whereas with Shakmods you can order complete kits, but you can also order individual leads, which is what I did to get around the problem. And they're relatively inexpensive, so it's not too much of a burden to have to do that. So let's pull all these out and see what we've got. Now, am I the only person that has real trouble finding the difference between an 8-way GPU lead and an 8-way CPU lead? So that's the CPU, so we're not going to use that one. So we're going to swap out the 24-pin ATX connector. We're going to put in an 8-way and a 6-way for the GPU, and then we've got, as part of the kit, some front panel connectors as well that we're going to put in. And I think what I might do is, rather than you sitting here and watching me doing it in real time, is we'll montage this bitch, and we'll have a little bit of chat after I've done it, so stay tuned. So I was about to montage, and then as soon as I started to put this 24-pin connector in, my cable combs are made of a very, very brittle plastic, and I've actually managed to snap them off the loomed cables as I was putting it into the case. And I wasn't being forceful anyway, just pushing it into the socket. So I'd like to know what that's about. That's not great from Shakmods, a company that I've had dealings with before and been relatively happy with their products. We've now got a little bit of an issue, and I think what I might have to do is reuse the combs off of the Linkup cables if I can. But I actually can't see how these come off without breaking them. Wow, that's bad. I'm literally just snapping that off. I'm really surprised at this because up until now I've been really happy with Shakmod products. Let's see if the other one's just the same. Yeah, wow. That just split right off. I am really surprised that that's happening. Wow. That's just... I'm kind of stuck for words because this wasn't the way this video was going to go. It was literally just have a little bit of chat about the different products from the different companies, do a little bit of a montage and then give you some final thoughts, but I'm now a little bit stuck. I'm wondering, see, the ones from the Shakmod cables are a much more flexible and malleable plastic. Now they're not the best looking, but if they'll fit, let's just check I'm going to get this on the right way. Right, okay. I'm not sure these are going to go because the insulation is a lot thicker. Oh, no. Okay, so that fits and it works. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing. These, the failed cable combs that came with the Shakmod cables are a clear plastic, whereas these are an opaque plastic from the Linkup kit. But you know what? They're going to work and they're not going to snap off. And now, I will say it's one thing for the Linkup kit, you get 3 cable combs on the ATX extender, whereas on the Shakmods kit you get 2, and apparently they're not the best condition, or best material in the world. I'm really surprised at that, and I'll reach out to Shakmods before this video goes out and just see if they've got anything to say. Cable combs are pretty universal. You can buy cable combs on their own from Cable Mod and things like that, and you can buy aluminium ones and you can buy different coloured plastic ones, and I suppose as long as they fit it's not really an issue. Okay, I'm going to get all these combs. I'm going to transfer the combs off of these as well, just so that everything looks the same. It's not ideal because I don't really like this look of the sort of opaque or translucent cable combs on this loom. I much prefer the clear cable combs, but if they're just going to snap off, it's no good, and I want consistency across all the cables. So I'm going to swap all these over and then we'll do the montage video. Okay, so I've redone the combs using the combs from the Linkup kit. It doesn't look too bad. It's not the look I was going for, and I may well replace these combs in the future, but we are where we are. I mean, to make the point, the 24 pin connector, those combs just literally just crumbled off. But for the other cables that I've done, I did have to snap these off with a pair of side cutters. So I don't know, maybe this was older stock. Maybe it's been handled different, treated different, I don't know. But the comb on this cable was very, very brittle. The combs on the other cables were not. They were still a hard, clear plastic, but they were nowhere near as brittle. And they took a lot of work to get off. So, you know, it is what it is, and maybe, you know, obviously it's a point against Shakmods. I will reach out to them and see if they want to comment about it, and if they do, I'll let you guys know. But now, take 2, let's get this montage done. for me, this looks a lot better than it looked with well, one with the white cables, but two, I think the thickness of the cables from Shakmods has really assisted. Bear in mind, this has got no cones on it now. It seems to be a lot nicer. So I'll get these front panel connectors connected up, and then we'll do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison of footage from when this was built and footage of it now. And let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, from my perspective, again, there's nothing wrong with these Linkup cables. And in terms of cost, there wasn't a lot in it between the Linkup cables and the Shakmods ones. But for me, I think the Shakmods look a little bit better. Although I've just noticed that on the 8-pin and the 6-pin, you go red, black, black, red, black. So to my mind, that should have been red, black, and then red, black, red. But that's just me being a bit picky. I do think the red and black works a lot better with the overall layout and with the Radeon card, the 5700 reference. Incidentally, why on earth did they go with like a graphite colour for this? Why not just black? Maybe it's just me. And why is the PCB edge orange? I might have to fill that in with a marker pen because it really bothers me. Anyway, yeah, I mean, both sets work. The Shakmods one feel a little bit better built if you ignore the shattering cable comb debacle. But again, I might replace these. The translucent malleable ones that come with the Linkup cables are a definite improvement over the solid brittle plastic ones that come with the Shakmods cables. So I may look at ordering some replacements for these because they're 10 a penny from a variety of different retailers, and just get something maybe black that goes with the scheme, or maybe even red. What do you guys think? Do you like them as they are? Do these opaque ones really bother you? Would you prefer the clear ones? Would you prefer solid ones? Would you like plastic, anodized metal? What do you think? Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. I hope this video has been educational in thinking about what kind of cable extension kits you might want. As I say, nothing wrong with either kit other than the cable combs on this being very brittle, which I will ask Shakmods for comment on, and I'll feedback to you guys in a subsequent video if they get back to me. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope it's been useful. If it has, please give it one of those, leave a comment below, get involved, please consider subscribing and receiving notifications. If it hasn't been useful, give it one of those and let me know why not, and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching, guys.